Welcome back. Well, let's continue our conversation on the entire hospital space. We have Shanay Shah, who's the president Shalby, and Kaivan Movdawala, who's the India healthcare sector leader and partner at EY, joining in to discuss this. Afternoon, gentlemen. Well, Kaivan, I'm going to start with you because there is this trend of increasing insurance penetration which is taking place within the entire hospital space, which is helping patients access better healthcare. Can you just give us a sense in the past 3 years, say post-COVID, what has the increase been like and where does it stand currently? And what do you expect it to go to, insurance?
Sure, Ekta. So I think, post-2020, there's a discernible shift in a case mix and payer mix towards insurance. In the last 3 years, we've got close to 80 to 90 million policy holders added to the insurance net. So almost 15% of our population is covered by some form of private insurance. And as a result of which, the payer mix for most hospitals where TPA business, which is insurance, was in the range of 30 to 40%, has gone up now closer to 40 to 50% for many of these chains. And what this really does is that insurance gives you propensity to seek treatment. More complex cases, there's a preference for single rooms, twin rooms compared to the general ward. So as a result of which, the insurance ARPOBs tend to be 15 to 20% higher than cash ARPOBs, and therefore the combination of higher payer mix coupled with improved ARPOBs is driving, the overall ARPOBs for the sector in the track that you mentioned. And in fact, interestingly, that's a 10% CAGR since FY20. Not just 10% this H1, which is significant compared to what was 5% prior to COVID.
Well, in post-COVID, perhaps it would have been a lower base that would have helped as well, Kaivan, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. Important to get in Shanay's views as well. Shanay, you're on the ground, you are doing the business that we're just analyzing out here. So just wanted your thoughts on a couple of things. One is that how has your mix when it came to insurance as a form of payment changed over the last couple of years? How is that likely to go forward, going ahead? And the second part is surgeries. Ekta did speak about, increased proportion of surgeries as a proportion of the overall revenue. How has that changed for you? And how is that likely to be going forward?
Good afternoon. So I think, first of all, 15 years ago, we started our first large multi-speciality hospital. And I remember the first we did about 15% or 15 to 20% was the insurance, mix in the whole scheme of things. And today, as we speak, as Kaivan said, we are about 40 to 50%. So, I think the insurance penetration has gone up significantly, and it is further expected to grow higher double digits, and the other aspect of it is really that, we do see, all of us multi-speciality, tertiary care, quaternary care hospitals, we do a lot of high-end work. So what happens is that the ARPOBs are generally higher than the general primary, secondary kind of hospital. So that's what we see also in the last 2-3 years. What has also happened is, that the schedule of charges across the insurance, across the government payers also has gone up. So, that has also affected and impacted the higher ARPOBs that we see today.
Okay. Well, Shanay, I just wanted to touch upon this changing trend of patients actually accessing multidisciplinary or large-scale hospital chains for even routine procedures. What is that trend that is taking place? And if you could tell us, if you could just give us some kind of statistics of what it was probably 3 to 4 years ago and what is it now? And how much do you expect it to probably increase?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shanay, if you could go ahead.
Sure. So I was just saying, I think, 5 to 10 years back, what we used to see is, that the insurance penetration was a lot lower. And essentially, because of that, the cash-paying patients used to go to smaller nursing homes. These could be 5 to 10-bedded, 20, 25-bedded kind of nursing homes to get their treatment. But as, the insurance penetration has increased, you and I, people like you and me, want our parents to be treated in larger, sophisticated setups with better infrastructure. So that is the major trend that we are seeing over the last few years.
Okay. Well, Kaivan, I just wanted your thoughts on that particular piece because of more larger hospitals getting more work, these smaller standalone hospitals, nursing homes, all of them are probably seeing reduced occupancies. So are we going to see maybe a complete change or a shift which is taking place even within tier 2 and tier 3 markets, where there could be probably more M&A take place, or maybe, there could just be a shutdown of these nursing homes simply because of the lack of work?
No, I think great question. I think there's a clear preference, Ekta, towards what we call organized private hospital segment. And even in the metros today, as we speak, there is, depending upon the metro, at least a 25% to 40% demand supply gap, even in metros today. A quality bed density of less than 0.5 to 0.7 in most metros. So clearly, that shift is visible. And to your question on the tier 1 cities, what we are seeing is a lot of these chains are now having very deep inroads into tier 1 cities, bringing high-end services, complex specialities to the tier 1 cities. Then you've got a consuming patient class, which is value conscious, which is aspirational. So with all of this together, what you're seeing, whether it's a metro or tier 1, for higher end work, tertiary care work. So if I take, for example, cardiac, within cardiac, you've got primary angioplasty, TAVI, PAMI, which will go to these larger chains. But I would still say the bread and butter work, secondary care, will continue to remain in the nursing homes and tier 1 smaller hospitals. But the shift has already begun, and gradually, what I keep saying, Ekta, there's a K curve that is emerging where the stronger chains are becoming larger, becoming more dominant, both in home markets as well as in tier 1 markets.
Just a quick follow-up before I go to Shanay for that. Kevan, what proportion of the overall beds in the country currently are organized, and how many of them are unorganized according to you, or rather not part of chains according to you?
Yes, so if you see, we've got totally 1.5 million beds today in the country. Less than 5% of them are in the more than 150 bed segment. So you've got nearly 40,000 to 45,000 single units where you've got an average bed size of 20 to 30, which are still very important for the healthcare market. And they will continue to provide secondary care, tertiary care to the patients at the last mile.
All right. And Shanay, on the insurance bit itself, Ekta did say that, every time the payer is an insurer or, non-individual at that point in time, we do see the ARPOBs increase by about 10 to 15 odd %. Would you concur with that view and, give us some details of your own? And having said that, even if the insurer is paying, there could be some delays in payment, etc., because of the institutional nature of that. So does that have an impact on your overall margin or working capital because the insurer is paying? Just wanted to understand the operational impact of that.
Sure. So, taking your second question first, I think, yes, we have to there is a credit period that the insurance companies enjoy. But essentially, we've seen that this, we usually the cycle is around 30 to 45 days. So, I think we are very comfortable with that. Having said that, on the other side, we believe that, in terms of the cash paying patients and the insurance patients, largely the ARPOBs are similar in nature. So I would not say that insurance has been higher for Shalby. I would say it's at par for us.
Okay, just a quick word, Shanay, before we let you go, is this international patients which have been increasing. What is it as a percentage of your total patients now, and what is the trend that we're seeing? Because a lot of companies are investing in robotic surgery, in LINAC machines. They're really upping their game when it comes to technology, probably to cater to the Indian diaspora as well as the international patient community. So can you just tie both those facts together, that technology increasing, how is it helping in terms of catering to the international crowd?
No, I think it is playing out well for India. India has been a later entrant in the whole medical tourism space, compared to the Asian countries like Singapore and Thailand and Malaysia. Having said that, we are growing significantly, and, with better air connectivity, we provide a great destination for medical treatment to India. And in fact, Shalby has been operating a medical clinic in Nairobi since the last 20 years. We are a household name in East Africa. So, that business continues to grow for us. And most of the medical tourism that we do at the moment happens in our Ahmedabad and Mumbai facilities.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen, for joining in and giving us a deep dive into the payer mix and the way forward for the hospital industry. Important from an investor standpoint, but more important as citizens of the country as well, where we look at better healthcare for everyone. Thank you, Shanay and Kevan, for joining in. With that, we slip into a short break. On the other side, we get you more on the markets and individual stocks.